to Naren Singh, Treasurer of the IFP. So you've also made serious gains in this election, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal. Of course, there was a low voter turnout there, but are you pleased with your party's performance?
Yes, we're pleased with the performance thus far, but in elections you can never say you are totally pleased, because what we have now is a springboard to move forward towards 2021 elections and then for the 2024 national and provincial elections again. But overall we are pleased that the trajectory was up, as we said to our voters out there. In 2016 we went up, and now in 2019 further up.
What do you attribute that growth to?
Hard work and leadership of Prince Buthelezi, as always, very committed, although he had a loss in his family, a dear loss of his dear wife, but he urged us on, and I think that played a big part. And also reminding voters that we governed the province from 1994 to 2004, and during that time there was no whiff of corruption. Service delivery was something that was the order of the day, and good governance was the order of the day, and people needed to be reminded, and they said, well, yes, now we remember those times and we'll give you an opportunity again.
Do you think that the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal was a bit weaker in this campaign, and how do you think that impacted on your performance?
Well, I don't want to talk for other parties. I mean, our strength is not cannot be related to the ANC's weakness. Our strength is based on the work that we did. We can grow stronger. We want to grow stronger, and that's our aim.
So what would be your key priority areas in KwaZulu-Natal and the National Assembly as we go to the 6th Parliament?
Excuse me. But in KwaZulu-Natal, what we would like to do is strengthen our local municipalities now with the help of the MPs and MPLs that have been elected, because I think we must show to the people in those municipalities that service delivery is the order of the day, and that will help us in the 2021 elections. In the National Assembly, we want to make ourselves more relevant, because we are not the majority, as you know full well, but I think we can influence decisions that are taken in Parliament and in government, and we aim to do that quite forcefully.
In the run-up to the elections, you mentioned how it's difficult to raise a lot of funds as a smaller party, and we know that the Party Funding Act has been passed, and it will be operationalized by the IEC. Are you ready as the IFP to declare who your donors are and open your books for scrutiny by the IEC and the general public?
We will comply to any legislative requirement that we have. In fact, we fully supported the legislation as we crafted it, as we amended it, and as we brought it to its fruition. It's because of the apparent objections to some of the regulations that the President withdrew his assent to the legislation. But we will fully cooperate. But having said that, I must say that money is the milk of politics, and I think this will apply to any political party. Had we had more money, then we could have reached out more to the voters, because many voters needed transport to be brought to the voting stations, and apathy sets in when you don't provide those kind of services to them. So I think with more money, we'll see a greater turnout and more interest in elections.
One of the concerns raised by observers is the low participation of young people in these elections. What is your opinion on that, considering there's been a drop of about 40% in the registration of young people?
Well, very disappointing, to say the least, that young people did not come out and vote, let alone register. I think, whatever we're trying to do as parliamentarians or as government is for the future of the younger generation, because they're going to inherit whatever good or bad that we do, and they must have a say in the kind of leaders they want. And I do hope that the poor turnout now sends a wake-up call to all young people from the age of 18 and upwards to register, exercise your right to vote, and do so in the 2021 local government elections.
Thank you so much. That's Naren Singh, Treasurer of the IEP.